Welcome back to another week of Straight Facts. I'm joined by, it's Tuesday, it's Lee Gunner. How you doing, mate?
I'm very well, man. Very well. The sun's shining. It was a nice bank holiday here yesterday, Andalusia Day. And yeah, I feel good, man. I feel fresh. I feel relaxed. Just been chilling, mate. Just been chilling.
Good. Just been chilling. I hear you. Ice and all that, bruv. So it's all good. Now, lots to talk about on the show today. We're going to delve into Everton's ridiculous apology from the referees. We want to speak about Ronaldo being finished. I want to speak about Roman and the Chelsea thing. I haven't really discussed Roman and Chelsea with anyone. I've given my views, but not really discussed it with anybody. And I also, of course, want to get your take on Arteta proving his haters wrong. Guaranteed top four, or at least heavy favourites, according to most Gooners. A lot of Arsenal fans today talking about how he'll be in the top four, top five managers in the world over the next 2 years. So obviously, I want to get your take on all of that as well.
Can we start on that? Just so that I can be chilled for the rest of the show.
No. Well, so I wanted to start on the Everton. I wanted to start on the Everton apologies to start begin with, because it's kind of breaking news. This just as we're going live. They've been given, and obviously, if anyone isn't aware, I don't know where you've been, but if you're not aware, Everton should have been awarded an absolute stonewall penalty against Manchester City on
Saturday.
It was Saturday
Evening.
And they didn't. And everybody knew in their heart of hearts it was a pen. And we knew that there would either be a kind of adjusting of the rules or an apology for this. Initially, the Premier League came out and gave a statement and said that there wasn't enough evidence that it was handball. Now, Mike Riley, I think head of the Referees Association or something like that, has kind of just apologized to Everton for not awarding them a penalty. And I sit there and I'm thinking to myself, that apology is one of the most, it's a chocolate teapot. It's absolutely pointless. An ashtray on a motorbike. What does it do for Everton? It doesn't give them the opportunity to score that penalty back. It doesn't explain why it wasn't given. It shows the incompetence of the refs. And all it really done is trigger Chelsea and Arsenal fans, especially today, back into conspiracy mode, tinfoil hat FC. It's outrageous. I mean, the decision in itself, how shocked were you that wasn't given?
Yeah, nailed on. It's a pen. Yeah, it's a pen. Yeah, it should have been. But this is the thing. There'll be conspiracy theorists out there saying, oh, but it's Man City. Liverpool fans all crying, oh, they're stopping us winning the league. Turn it in. Yeah, turn it in, right? At the end of the day, there is no corruption, with referees. Yeah, it's just there's bad refereeing decisions. Yeah, and what is subjective to one person isn't to another. I'll give an example. The cup final. A lot of people were saying that Keita should have been sent off. I don't think it was a red. Yeah, but you might. Yeah, both of their feet were up high. Both studs showing. Different angle as they're coming in. Yeah, he didn't get the ball, blah, blah, blah. I don't think it's a red. Yeah, if one's a red, the other's a red. Both their feet were up in an unnatural position with their studs showing. So a lot of these decisions are subjective, Terry, yeah, and it's changes from week to week because you have a different person in the VAR studio, yeah? So that person might not think it's a penalty, but then if it was somebody else sat there, it's a pen. I think pretty much most people agree that should have been given. Yeah, I think pretty much most. But there'll be people out there saying no. Yeah, maybe, I don't know why, but there'll be people saying no. But for me, it's a nailed on. It's a nailed on. And I get why people get the ump. I get why people come out and start saying it's a conspiracy. I get it. But at the same time, the best team over the course of the season wins the league.
Of course. And look, I agree. I don't believe there's corruption per se, as in this, they're paid to give certain teams certain results, or there's an agenda where the referees get together and go, right, we're going to make sure Arsenal don't make the top four. I don't believe any of that nonsense. That stuff for me is wrong. And yes, referees have said things in the past about how they've felt influenced by certain managers or by certain crowds or by certain players. That's not corruption. That's being a human being. And things like VAR was meant to stop that from happening. The point of VAR is you're in a truck somewhere, you're not in a truck, you're in a studio somewhere, you're not feeling the pressure of the managers, you're not feeling the pressure of the players, you're not feeling the pressure of the fans. You are simply meant to sit there and make objective decisions. But it feels like the decision making from VAR has become more and more increasingly about protecting the referee on the football pitch and making sure that they almost align their decisions together. And then every now and then they throw in one where they twist it and change it. I liked VAR for large parts of last season where they were giving things that were fouls, but that the referee didn't see, or the referee, like, there was a penalty Man United got against Newcastle very early on in the season. Referee waved it away and said no. You saw the replay and you clearly see the guy rake Rashford's shin. So they made the referee go look at it. He looked and overturned it. Then what you started to see with referees get challenged with, you're getting a lot of decisions wrong in the first instance. There was all these tables of the amount of decisions that have been changed. Man United have been helped more than Liverpool by the changing of decisions. Well, that actually means the decisions were wrong in the first place. So United were actually the ones that were mistreated. So as soon as they started doing that, they bottled it again. And okay, well, now let's protect the first decision the referee makes. And now we're seeing horrendous overturns not happening in football. You know, in my view, I felt Naby Keita should have been sent off the other day. I know that both their legs were high, but one made contact with the other. But equally, like, I get it's also subjective. The handball is another thing. But what really annoys me about it is I've seen some big Arsenal accounts quote tweet, I think Sky's article about this, or their tweet about it, and say, well, where's our apology from Mike Riley for us losing our 49-game unbeaten run to Man United, i.e., you know, you guys, that game, in fairness to you, you know, Rio could have been sent off. Rooney definitely died for the penalty. There's no doubt. But I'm like, hang on, but where was your apology as a football club or from a referee to Portsmouth the season before when Perez dives? So you guys get a draw against Portsmouth. Like, everyone's got these examples. And this is kind of my point. I'm seeing in the last week alone, Liverpool fans, because of the City handball incident with Everton. I'm seeing Chelsea fans because of they didn't feel things went their way on Sunday. Arsenal fans for a number of weeks now have been pushing this conspiracy theory agenda. There's a conspiracy against us. And so they can't all three of you have a conspiracy against you. That literally doesn't fit the narrative, because if the referees are out of their way to stop Arsenal from progressing, and what's the actual claim here? But the most important thing to point out, I think, about all of this is the fans themselves, because fans control this. And again, they don't want to own it. Fans and clubs control it. And I'll give you an example. City fans won't thank me for saying this, but I will. City will have a bad decision go against. Imagine City have a bad decision that goes against them in a few weeks that enables Liverpool to be level on points or go in front of them. They will scream blue murder, bad referees, decisions killing the game, or conspiracy. Well, if you'd have maybe done the right thing on this Saturday, and I'm using City as an example here, but they're not the only ones, and gone, do you know what? It's definitely a penalty. Listen, shout out to Ruben Diaz or whoever their centre-backs were at the time. When the ball gets played back to you next, just pick it up in the box and give a penalty away, please, because they should have had a penalty. This is going to take clubs and fans to start acting with true 100% integrity. Do you know what? That wasn't a penalty that we'd just been given. Yeah, tell your striker to miss it then, and he missed it. Kicks it wide by 10 yards, so it's a goal kick. Cool. Justice in this world. Now, people are going to push back at me saying that. Why? We got to win. We're here to win. We're here to win. Yeah, exactly. Until people put the integrity of the game over their necessity to win, there is never going to be enough pressure on the authorities to get the processes and the decisions right. VAR was meant to stop the majority of these decisions going awry. Now, you're always going to get subjectivity. The Naby Keita one's a great example. You're always going to get those narrow offside decisions. But certain things like that handball decision against Everton are so clear-cut. Arsenal should have had some handballs the other day. When they were playing, I want to say it was Wolves. It might have been Burnley. But where players like dived in, he's put his arm across and he's underside. I've seen some of them given, and I've seen some of them not given. But the point is, if Arsenal beat whoever in their next game, based, and the opponents don't get a penalty for that, Arsenal fans are not going to come out and say that's wrong, really. They should have had a penalty. And I know that it's never going to happen. And that's why I'm sick and tired of hearing fans moan about this, because no one's got the integrity to stand up for what's right when they're benefiting from it, only when they've lost because of it. And it's boring, and it's nauseating, and it's pathetic. It's absolutely pathetic. Now, I'm not being big. I'm not being a big man about this. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to beg for Man United to give a penalty away if we get one dodgily and score it. But I'm also not screaming conspiracy every week. It's just fans have got to get over this. Fans have just got to either get over it or just accept that you're going to have to take the rust with the smooth. They're just boring the living daylights out of me with this consistent nonsense about there's a conspiracy against us. Referees are bad this and bad that. It's killing the game. Well, ask your club to do something about it then. Ask your club to not accept wins or draws through bad decisions. And when one does it, there'll be a knock-on effect. And Arsenal, I will use Arsenal as an example here. Arsenal could have been the first club to take a stance against diving. When Eduardo was banned for diving, if they'd have accepted it and maybe issued another game ban or a big fine and gone, we don't want diving at Arsenal, it would have set the precedent and diving would have been eradicated from our game by now. 100%. You start that off.
That was 2008?
8, something like that. Somebody's got to take that stance. Maybe a little bit later than that. But somebody's got to take that stance. Somebody has got to stand up and do the integral thing first. But nobody wants their club to. Arsenal fans would be outraged. Man United fans would be outraged if their club did it first. We ain't got a winning mentality. We don't have an elite mentality. Then why do we expect the referees to change when we don't really give a shit about it ourselves? The apology to Everton is pathetic and it's pointless. They shouldn't have even done it, in my opinion, because it's actually embarrassing. However, fans don't really care. We only care when it impacts us. And they just need to keep them, either step up, put up, or shut the hell up. For me, they've got to shut their mouths. They're just boring the living daylights out of me now with it. Children.
Totally agree, mate. And this is, but unfortunately, mate, this is the way of social media these days. It's oh, poor me. Oh, look at me. Oh, my team's hard done by. Oh, we didn't win because of this. Oh, everything's against us. Oh, we're always in the mud because of bad decisions. And unfortunately, mate, it makes these fans feel closer to their football club by playing the victim all the time. It does, because you, like I said on the show last week, you get more traction by being hard done by and poor me, and more traction by being super toxic positive than you do saying it as it is. And unfortunately, that's not just the same in football. That's like the whole societal thing. Like, it's always the same now. And this has been steadily coming and coming and coming for years, to the point where, like, Arsenal fans have always had it in for Mike Riley because of that 49th game. Yeah, or 50th game, sorry. Right? You know, and now he's the head of referees. Oh, there's a conspiracy. There is no conspiracy against this dead club. Why? You know, why? They've come out and they issued a statement. Well done. Good for them. Whoopee. I agree. They shouldn't have done it. Yeah, they shouldn't have done it. You know, and, you know, I just think that the level of refereeing in this country is so bad that VAR was brought in to help it. And I agree with what you said. It's brought in to kind of cover the ref's arse now. Yeah. And, you know who the guy is in VAR because they tell you, but he's got no comeback whatsoever on him. Yeah. Because his decision is final. Yeah. Unless he says, look, go over to the monitor, and then the ref decides. But every time I don't think I've seen one. I may be wrong, but I don't think I can remember one instance where the guy in the earpiece has said, go to the monitor, and then it's not been overturned.
We almost know the process.
As he goes and looks, you know,
it's exactly, mate. Uncle Mad here in the comments says, like you said, Eduardo was banned for diving. What other players from other clubs are banned for diving?
Well, so Salah should have been banned for half a season, the season they won the league, because he was dropping like he'd been sniped every week.
But Eduardo, you're missing the point. Arsenal appealed it. Had it overturned. Once they'd appealed it and overturned it based on the grounds of you've got to be able, they got very legal with it. Like, you've got to prove he intended to dive and all this stuff. As soon as he got away with it, you set the precedent that you were never going to be able to do that to anybody, because
he did get clipped, yeah, but it weren't enough contact to make him go down.
Yeah, and my point is this: this isn't a dig at Arsenal. So get out of your feelings. No club is going to do it. I'm just using Arsenal's case in point because it's a famous one. No one is willing to stand up for what's right when they benefit from it. And there's a comment here that I saw. Disagree, Terry. It's not our responsibility to make these decisions. We are not paid to referee. Obvious decisions like the handball should never be in question. Again, you're not hearing my point. I didn't say it's your job to get the decisions right. But if you don't put pressure from all angles at all times, there's no pressure on the referees or the processes to be improved because they get away with it. Because lots of people celebrated Everton not getting that handball. If it weren't for the fact it was Man City, Liverpool fans would have loved it. It would have put them near the relegation zone. The pressure isn't there. This is one of those subjects, again, that needs football fans to unite and all push together, irrespective of who's benefiting and who's failing. But we don't. We're selfish. And that selfishness, which I understand because I have it, is where the incompetence is allowed to breed, which is where the bad decisions are allowed to breed. We've seen it right from the top, from FIFA right the way down to the refereeing element. Unless there's actually people go, oh, FIFA are corrupt, they're scumbags, and then we're all watching the FIFA World Cup. If nobody turned it on, if nobody watched it, they would change their ways. But we all do. We give them an out every single time. That's my point, brother. This isn't about digging at Liverpool, digging at City, or digging at United. It's about our integrity. And because we don't have none as fans. We have zero integrity as fans. We are shameless. So how can we expect anything to get any better? Come on, man. Come on now. And look, comment here says, I disagree. Fans do acknowledge. Yes, you acknowledge when you're lucky, but do you ask your club to do anything about it? Let's say Man United beat Man City at the weekend and get 2 penalties that are not penalties. A Man United fan's going to scream at their club and go, we have to rematch that game. It's not fair on City's title charge. No. So therefore, there's no pressure for anything to happen. Liverpool fans won't want it replayed. There's no pressure for anything to happen. So it
doesn't also help, right, when you have people like Alan Shearer, and other ex-players, and I'm using him as an example because I've heard him say it with his own mouth, saying it's clever play to dive. Yeah, it doesn't help when you've got ex-players coming and sitting on Match of the Day and Sky Sports, BT, whatever channel it's on, saying, yeah, well, it was a bit cute. It was a gamesmanship and like, come on. Yeah, if everyone wants it out of the game, wants all decisions right. Yeah, but no disrespect, right? Nobody's ever going to get all decisions right, even with VAR. Yeah, because it's not a matter of fact, it's a matter of an opinion. Goal line technology is fact, either cross the line or it didn't. Yeah, with VAR, it's subjective. It's still down to one person or maybe two if you include the ref to make that decision. You're never going to eradicate every single issue. And let's be real, Terry, right? This game has been absolutely fine for over 100 years, mate. Yeah, so all these people now, and this is the way football's gone, unfortunately, it's all about, oh, we have to get all decisions right. We're going to eradicate all the problems. We have to do, no. Why don't you just play the game? Stop putting different stupid rules in about, oh, if it's handball after it touches this and does this, it's not a penalty. But if it's handball it's either handball or it ain't.
Well, you saw examples of that. You saw Liverpool. I think one of Liverpool's goals against Tottenham, and then Man United's goal they conceded against Borough. Like both just handballs, but because of the adjusting of the rules all the time, suddenly those handballs are now acceptable. Certain handballs are acceptable, certain handballs are not. And it is infuriating. And I get why it's infuriating to the fans, but we just get to that point now where it's like we've either just got to admit refereeing standards are low and move on. It's the calling of conspiracy. And we have a super chat here. That says, you might not get it because you don't watch, or I watch every single Arsenal game because I cover them all. But there is an obvious bias against Arsenal. No one can convince me otherwise. But if there was
let me ask this guy a question. Sorry, Terry. Let me ask this guy a question. When did this bias start? Right, because I said right at the top of the show that the standard of refereeing is poor. But is it any poorer than it was back in 2002, in 98, in 2004? Yeah, and all the years between when Wenger joined or when George Graham was mad. Is the standard actually that bad now compared to then? Or is it more highlighted now because of people sitting on social media crying about every single decision? Because if you go to a game before VAR, or before social media, people would still moan as they're coming out the ground, but it wouldn't go boom, global. But now it's highlighted that one tiny little decision, that's it, that cost us the game. It's the same on a different way, A player plays rubbish for 90 minutes, but then he'll stand in the centre circle, he'll pass. I'm using Lacazette as the example. He played absolutely diabolical the other day. He stands in the centre circle and passes the ball to Smith Rowe, who rounds 3 players and pings it in. Yeah, so people sit there and go, oh, but he got an assist. Well, does that mean he played well then? Did you watch the game? No, you didn't, because he got an assist. So what? That eradicates 90 minutes of crap. Yeah, and it's the same with this VAR and this social media stuff, Before, I want this guy to answer. When did the conspiracy start then? Because is the standard of refereeing that bad, or is it more highlighted now?
So he says here, since VAR has come in, no team has lost more points. Now,
maybe because we're crap.
But look, again, even aside from that,
and that coincides with Arteta coming as manager, right?
It's about looking at the VAR decisions, because those tables that come out that say things like Arsenal have had. I'm just going to make the number up because I haven't seen it. They've had 20 decisions overturned that have gone against them, where Man United have only had 13 decisions overturned that have gone against them. But again, it depends on your reading of those decisions, because that also means that you were given those decisions incorrectly in the first place, which means the referees were actually more biased towards you, like in favor of you, than your opponents, and things got turned around. The problem is,
furthermore, there might have been a foul that wasn't given to the other team in the lead up to that decision that you didn't get in the first place.
Well,
how many times is there a stage of play where a player's laying on the floor rolling around, the game carries on because you've got the ball back and the opposition are on the floor, and then we then get a penalty, but then it gets overturned? Well,
there is no doubt that Arsenal have had some bad decisions go against them. But
we've also had some bloody good ones, Terry. Yeah, against you, Aubameyang.
I don't think it's disproportionate. And I saw some stats last week about how many red cards per fouls that Arsenal have been given since like I want to say September 2019. It might have been a bit later. I don't quite remember the date. And I looked at it and thought, cool. But if you take out the four red cards for violent conduct that you've had, and then look at your fouls per red card ratio, it's about on par with everybody else.
Yeah.
If you then also remove the 3 red cards you've had for denying clear goal scoring opportunities, then your red cards per foul ratio is better than the majority of the Premier League. Yep. Those were just blatant red cards. The only one that I don't think was, or I think was harsh, was David Luiz, where he was running back and he didn't even make an attempt to touch the player, and then the legs clashed. However,
it's still a pen.
One sec, bro. I can prove it, but I can prove it in a conspiracy. It wasn't denying a clear goal scoring opportunity, but Rafael da Silva in 2010, I think it was 2010, it might have been 11, was already on a yellow card. He was tracking back a Bayern Munich player at Old Trafford, and their legs clashed in the same way, and he got a second yellow for it and was, of course, then sent off. That's been happening. That isn't an obscure decision that they only attack Arsenal with. The problem is that everybody wants to make it about their clubs like they're the only ones. West Ham fans, what about the red card that Soufal got for a tackle that wasn't a red card, and some don't even think it was a foul? You got a penalty and a man sent off, secured the game out the door. But if there was a conspiracy, Man United at the weekend should have had a penalty against Ronaldo. I didn't moan about it because we missed gilt-edged chances. Definitely was fouled for me. But if there was a conspiracy to stop Arsenal getting the top 4, why would that penalty not have been given?
Fact.
It don't make sense. I get refereeing decisions are bad. But when it comes to this conspiracy talk, or my club gets targeted more than others, I just can't hear it anymore. McAvey.
Sorry. I was just going to say one more thing, to that guy who put the super chats in, and big up to everyone watching as well. But so there's only been a conspiracy since VAR came in. That's basically what he's saying. Arsenal have lost more points, like you said. We've already spoke as maybe we got more bias towards us, and they got the decisions wrong, which is why they're overturned. Yeah, but if that's like I said, if that's the case, right, it's only since VAR came in. So I'm supposed to believe that everyone's had a meeting, VAR's come in, and they're going to deliberately stitch Arsenal up based on what? Yeah, is the refereeing decisions worse now? I'd love some company out there that love collating all this data and putting out pointless crap. Yeah, go and collate how many red cards in these games and how many fouls in this game and how many wrong decisions we got over 2002 season. Yeah, how many times we got given penalties? You mentioned the one against Portsmouth where Pires dived. I can mention multiple where Bergkamp dived. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Well, but this is the thing. You just go back to the Wolves game the other day. Ben White's kick out and trip, not kick, but trip. He kicked out and tripped up Jimenez. There was also Ben White's dive when Connor Cody's about to go through on goal.
Yep.
You got them. If there was a conspiracy, if there was a bias, you would not have got those decisions go your way. Yes, the refereeing decisions are bad, but until fans...
But it's poor me. It's poor Arsenal, Terry. Oh, anything, and there's an excuse to cover if we don't get top 4. Because then it's, there was a conspiracy. Look how well we finished without all this conspiracy going on. Yeah, mate, for our fans are so dumb.
I agree. Having said that about Arsenal, having said that about Arsenal, you are now looking at being 4 favourites. You are top 4 favourites now. I don't think there's a doubt. Like games in hand, the points you've got, the teams you've got to play. If you make the top 4, especially, are people like you proven wrong about Arteta being a good enough manager to progress you and take you to that next level? Do you feel like
Well,
time
what is
for
the
you?
next level? The next level is the next level. Do you remember when he got asked that on BT Sport?
Is it time for you, Lee, to maybe give him more credit, be a
No,
little bit more respectful towards
no.
him,
I know
celebrate a
what you're
little
doing.
bit
You're
more?
trying to draw me out as well, yeah.
No, I'm asking you a question. I get told off for not asking you those questions.
Oh, ask them.
So
Sorry, anyone who
know.
tells you off for not answering me
He's
this
done
question,
better-
just say, go and watch this clip. So clip
He's
this.
doing better. He's doing better than you
Yeah.
expected him to, right? So he's doing better than you expected. Surely that deserves some level of praise.
No. How? Okay, so if I expect Sean Dyche to get relegated, but he stays up, he gets praised for staying up? Come on.
But you
This
didn't
is the third biggest club in England, mate. We've spent more money than any club on the planet for the last 4 seasons. We've wasted £250 million with this manager. So whoopee-doo if we get back to 4th. Who cares? We still ain't won anything.
You have to take that step progression to get
No.
back.
No.
You do,
We have
mate.
this conversation every week, man. Let me say
No.
this, right? Inter Milan hired Conte. They signed 14 players that summer. Sevilla had Lopetegui as their manager. They signed 13 players that summer. They both got to Europa League final in the first season. Where were Inter the season before? Where was Sevilla the season before? The following season, obviously Sevilla won that competition. The following season, Inter Milan win the league. So why can't this guy?
I understand your point, but it's also about the overall quality in the league, because you're talking about Liverpool and Man City, who are, in my opinion, the 2 best teams in Europe right now. You've got Chelsea, that I think if you had a European league that everybody was in, Chelsea would still finish in the top 4 of that. I think they're better than PSG. I think they're better than Bayern Munich. And they would beat them in I think they're a very, very good team. As great as I think Bayern Munich and PSG are overall. So you're talking about competing in a league where 3 of the top 5, top 6 teams in Europe are already in. You've got Man United, who still have a very good squad, by the way. You've got a very competitive league, one of the hardest leagues in the world to play in. To judge him based on what team managers have done in my opinion, right now, weaker leagues, I don't think it's a fair analysis. And I understand your point.
Okay, no. Okay, so on that basis, we can't win the league. So why throw all the cup competitions then? Why throw the Europa League by toying with your playing a formation against Villarreal and the squad against Villarreal that you hadn't ever played? Why do that in a semi-final, by the way? A semi-final. So why do that? Why play and throw the game against Nottingham Forest this season? Why throw it against Southampton last season?
He didn't throw the Nottingham Forest game.
Yeah, he did. Did you see how we played?
He didn't throw it though. He had to play.
Did you see his subs?
He had to play. What is his name? Patio in the middle.
Yeah, because he's mismanaged the team all season, Terry. That's why.
No, you had injuries and illness.
Injuries and illness. No, idiot red cards like Granit Xhaka. Yeah, idiot red cards by Granit Xhaka.
I'll give you that one. I'll give you that one.
Thomas Partey and other players.
The thing is, what I think's wrong from your standpoint is this, and the reason I say it is the reason that Man United's failings are being capitalized on by Arsenal is because you're delivering. You've won you haven't played very many games since the return after the winter break, but you've won them all. And you've won them all. Whether you've won them all convincingly or not is irrelevant. You're stepping up now. You're moving on to that next level. There's balance in your squad. Getting rid of Aubameyang, I didn't think it would be, but it's turned out to be a genius decision because.
Whoa! Hold on! I'm pulling you off now. How is that a genius decision when the team's bagged 5 goals in 5 games, so a bigger and better football club?
It doesn't matter what you're doing at Barcelona.
Hang on. And in that time, our striker has scored 1.
But your
team, how is that a genius decision?
How many games has your team lost?
It's irrelevant. Our striker scored 1 goal. We look crap against Brentford in the first half. We look crap against Wolves in the game away, where we won, and we're high-fiving for the Amazon cameras. Yeah. And first half against Wolves the other day, it was a snooze fest as well. Yes, we won all of them games, Terry. Right? The fact and reality is, that striker that we got rid of, we would already probably be 4th right now if we had played him in his right position all season. We'd probably be 3rd. Yeah,
he wasn't willing. He wasn't willing
to play left wing back, which I get because now he's playing as a striker and he looks like an elite striker again. Yeah, it's a miracle.
Listen, and as I say, has Arteta done everything perfect? No, but he has made your team better. There's better balance in your squad.
No.
And you're progressing. Do you have more points this season than last year?
Wow. We finished 8th last year. I'd expect us to have more points.
But you're moving forward. You're
Terry,
improving.
I want to win the title.
But you're moving towards that.
And
You're
people
moving
in this
towards
chat,
it.
somebody in the chat, a teacher ages ago said, "Oh, this guy's all about trophies." Well, duh. What's the aim of elite sport?
Mate, I agree with you.
Win
I
trophies.
agree. I agree that you want to get to the trophies, but from where you were in the doldrums.
Okay, so Terry, yes, we were in the doldrums, finishing 5th with Emery, yeah? 5th with Emery, 2 points off 3rd. We were in the doldrums, yeah? Well, we weren't, were we? Because we were 2 points off 3rd. And I don't want to hear none of this rubbish from people saying, "Oh, but the league wasn't as competitive then." Shut up. It's the Premier League. It's competitive every week. Yeah, top can beat bottom, bottom can beat top, and all the middle in as well. Yeah, we finished 2 points off of 3rd place. We sacked the manager when we were sat, I think, 6 points off 4th after 13 games. And we sacked him because our fan base and our company owners, because it is a company, it's not a football club anymore, our company owners decided that they didn't want him anyway, but we'll put him in and he lost the final when he got spanked. And rightly so, he should have got sacked, yeah, because he didn't win anything. But then we bring in this manager, he wins the FA Cup. All of a sudden, that gives him all this leeway and grace. Then he throws us out of that against Southampton and Nottingham Forest in the next 2 seasons. He loses to Olympiacos in his 1st season. Why? We just scored the winning goal. And within a split second of kickoff in stoppage time, we lose. How? Right? So he kicks us out of that. The following season, he loses to our former manager and we didn't score a goal. Then this season, I'm supposed to go, "Well done, mate. Progress." No. Progress would have been going and getting an elite manager, giving him £250 million and being in a title race. Because you can't tell me, Terry, yeah, that Chelsea, when Tuchel took over, when they were 9th, by the way, 9th, and all they've added is Lukaku, who's done crap, you cannot tell me that he ain't an elite manager because he's won them 3 trophies in Europe and he's lost 2 finals domestically since then. He's been in 5 finals.
But Chelsea,
in 13 months, right?
I think Chelsea's squad.
And I don't care about their squad, Terry. They've got more youngsters from Cobham in their squad than we have from Hale End. Yeah? They've got Kante, who's on his way out. It's not the Kante he was 4 years or 3 years ago. They've got Kovacic, who's been superb. Rudiger's upped his game. Why? Because he's got a proper manager there, proper coach there now. Yeah. And now he's on the verge of signing a new deal. Whereas before, it was all going sideways. You look at Pulisic, crap. Werner, done nothing. Lukaku, done nothing. Havertz, done nothing, apart from scoring a final that's given him grace forever. Yeah. Chalobah plays left back, right back, kid out of their academy. Reece James, academy. Mason Mount, academy. Yeah, they've got Chilwell, who's been injured. Alonso, they don't rate. Nobody rates him at Chelsea, yeah? Then you look at some of the other kids that have come into their team, like Christian's come through their academy, yeah? Do you know what I'm saying? They've got more. When they played Man United, I think it was, or Man City, I'm sure it was you lot, they had 7 players, 7 in that squad that came through their academy, right? And they've gone from 9th, which, by the way, we were 15th for 5 weeks and Tuchel was sat at home. They've gone from 9th to Champions League and 4th. Yeah. They then went Super Cup and Club World Cup, lost to Leicester in a final and lost to the final 2 days ago.
But
that is progress, Terry.
Okay, I understand that. And they've
spent less than us.
Okay. But 2 things on that. I think Chelsea had a better squad than you when he took over. Much better squad than you. And I think there's certain elements and things wrong with certain players, but a very, very good squad. The difference is when you look at the league, which is the ultimate barometer, you win your game in hand, you're 2 points behind them.
Yeah.
You're basically on par with the Thomas Tuchel's league form this year at Chelsea.
Well done. They've won 2 trophies this season.
Right. Okay. But it's about progression. And
it's about winning, Terry, trophies.
You have to progress to get back to winning. And I think Arsenal.
Yeah, and they've been to 5 finals in 13 months and they've won 3 of them. I'd say that's progress from 9th place under Lampard when he got sacked. Wouldn't you? Because this manager at Chelsea has been here for half the time of our manager, and we're still going off on one about an FA Cup and finishing 4th. Turn it in.
There's 2 things here. Let me break this back down again. So I was thinking about you the other day when I was listening to an Arsenal podcast. And I was thinking about you, and because your name came up on the podcast, and your name came up, and it was like
my name comes up everywhere, Terry, because people get so triggered by me. It's mad.
As we know, Lee Gunner is on the Urban Dictionary.
Come on.
So if you look at the Urban Dictionary here, it says that Lee Gunner, it says a troll, a bellend lacking substantial knowledge of any topic such as football, A stereotypical loudmouth who's never kicked a ball but believes he knows more than people who have dedicated their lives to playing football, developing players and managing football clubs, speaks in extremes, high volumes, but mostly on grunts and emojis. An alleged for Arsenal Football Club sold to defunct Bury Football Club. Also see Piers Morgan, don't get it. Not a gooner. Anyone who is a plastic supporter of Arsenal, anyone who is banned from the Emirates Stadium is called a league gunner.
I love that one. That
all those things are league gunners, is what they're saying.
Can we break that down real quick? I'm not a troll. I'm honest. Yeah, and I'd rather be hated for being saying the truth and sleeping at night knowing I said the truth than being fake as fuck. Yeah, and everyone loving me off. Because there's plenty of them on here. I could name them if you want me to. But that's another show. Ellen's lacking substantial knowledge of football. Okay. Well, cool. Whatever. That's your opinion. Stereotypical, never kicked a ball, but believes he's better than people that have. That's called an opinion, mate. Fourth one. An alleged fan of the football club. Well, how many games you been to? Yeah. Not a gooner. You don't know what gooner means. Yeah. You don't. To define what gooner means. Yeah. Come back to me. Anyone who is a plastic supporter, define plastic since when are you fan police? And anyone banned from the Emirates, bruv, I'm not banned from the Emirates. I do love all this. Terry, I've made it to Urban Dictionary. My life's complete.
Look at some of the sentences, like number 3 here. Be a gooner, not a league gunner. This one makes me laugh as well.
These people don't even know what gooner means, mate. They call themselves gooners. They don't even know why.
Listen to this one. When league gunner speaks, it smells like rotten cheese or White Hart Lane.
Can I just say, some people eat rotten cheese, that blue cheese. Some people eat that. So
nice,
you know what I mean?
A lot of cheese is rather the cane. The reason I bring that up is I was obviously thinking about you while listening to this podcast because I was like, I think this is where like football fans, the polarization between your views and these positive Arsenal fans is weird to me. And I'll tell you as to why. You're not recognizing, in my opinion, and you're wrong for this, the progression this season, especially under Mikel Arteta. How you're playing, lack of toxicity in the dressing room, really good young squad, potential for the future, playing better football, scoring, conceding less, winning more points, progressing in the league. I think you've done those things and they deserve to be celebrated. However, there is a big however here. I think you should recognize that. However, there are some gooners that believe because of that progression, you're in the mud. Lee's proven wrong in everything he said, and we've reached the summit of Mount Everest. And I'm like, hang on a minute. I'm looking at them and I'm thinking, but Lee ain't wrong still. And you've got to be very clever with Lee because Lee has said, I won't essentially change my mind about Arteta until he wins us a league title. So you can make top 4, 5, 6, 7 years on the bounce, and Lee isn't wrong. So it was a very clever stance to take. But equally, the Arsenal fans that are celebrating like you've reached the summit, I also think is wrong. I think, again, Arsenal fans, I feel, over the last 12, 18 months have done their very best to try and raise the standards in areas. I think they could have gone further with protests, but I think they've pushed, we need better signings, we need to play more, better football. But I almost feel already like there's this element of, I'm just happy with how things are again. I'm therefore willing to take my foot off the club's neck.
Why am I going to be happy finishing 4th when I see Wenger do it for 20 odd years and never even bother, apart from once, to try and compete to win it? And that once, by the way, he had Flamini at left back for the whole campaign. We didn't concede a goal. And then he puts an injured Ashley Cole back in there. He weren't fully fit. Yeah. And then he subs off the wrong player when we went down to 10 men. He subbed off a goal scorer. Yeah. For some, so why am I going to get so super hyped, Terry, if we finish 3rd loser? I've seen it for decades. Yeah, it's not the pinnacle. But unfortunately, to the majority of these fans that support Arsenal that sit on social media, they've never seen life before that guy. So it is the pinnacle. Yeah. And that's not trying to be elitist or anything, or they can't help when they were born, but at least know the football club, learn the football club. Somebody in the chat said define gooner. Go and look it up yourself like I did. Yeah, because these people that call themselves gooners don't know why they're calling themselves a gooner, bruv. Yeah, they just think, oh, I'm a gooner because it sounds good. Go and look up why Arsenal fans were called gooners. Because nobody knows it, but they all sit and talk about it. And this is what winds me up with this football club. You've triggered me now, right? This is what's winding me up with this football club. These people that sit here telling me I'm fake. Yeah, you don't know half of what I know about this football club. Yeah, you don't know nothing. Yeah, apart from, oh, but we went invincible. Is yours gold? Who cares? It was 18 years ago. Yeah, Chelsea had a better model than we did when we moved stadium. Yeah, fact. They have a better philosophy within their football club because they've got an owner that cares, maybe, or because their fans are so ruthless that they don't care sacking a proper club legend. This manager that we've got, progress is not from going from 8th place to 4th place, Terry. Progress is doing what Chelsea did, yeah, when they finished 10th and employed a proper manager, yeah, and signed N'Golo Kante, and then went from 10th to title. That is progress. Progress is what Thomas Tuchel has done. Got to every single final that has been put in front of him since he has been their manager. And you can't tell me, because you've already told me, that they ain't got the best team in the league. Yeah. So how did he get to the cup finals then?
Oh, because listen, there's a different conversation. Thomas Tuchel is sensational and he's a better manager.
And we could have had him when we were sat 15th, by the way, for 5 games straight. And instead, we kept this idiot and Chelsea went and got him. It's true. If you gave Thomas Tuchel 150 million quid in the summer, yeah, that we gave Arteta, do you think we would have spunked 100 of that on Lukaku? No way. We'd be up there already. Come on.
I hear you on that one. Robbie Singh here says, big up Terry and Lee. Any thoughts on Pep's statistic comments? What about like only certain teams attack? Listen,
no. You're not heard it.
No.
He said, just because a player doesn't have good stats doesn't mean that they're not good for the team.
That's right to a certain extent. Depends on.
So he's basically killing off all of these little GA merchants that sit there and go, oh, he's good because he got 92 GA. Who cares?
I put it down to it all depends on the position as a general rule. Because one thing I didn't agree with Liverpool fans on a few years ago is when they pushed this notion of like, I've got a defensive striker. It's like, no, your striker's still got to contribute goals, bruv. Like he's still got to be
like Lacazette with his whole 4 league goals. Aubameyang's on the same.
I think I look at it this way. Statistics are very subjective at times. Depends what people are saying. So where I like to use stats is in this regard. So if somebody says a player doesn't create very much, but yet he's one of the highest, he has sort of great chance creation, great big chance creation, great through ball rate, good pass completion into the box, great, he's very good statistically when it comes to being involved in the build up to goals, whether you like pre-assist or not. If their statistics are good in all those areas, I think those statistics back up your eye test on a player. Where I do agree is this notion of, I saw someone once, Michael Carrick is an example here. Michael Carrick does nothing in the Man United team. I'm like, he does. It's just that you're not looking at the right statistics to enhance him. I want to say it was Graham Souness kicking off saying that Declan Rice doesn't score enough goals, 6 goals in 157 games. I'm like, do you realize that 90% of the games he's played as fucking DM, you moron? Like that's where the stat, like
doesn't
using
matter,
stats.
Every Pogba's fault anyway, mate.
Yeah, Pogba's fault. Thank you, Robbie Singh, for that super chat.
You got Robbie.
Then another one here says, hi lads, as an Arsenal fan, can I have your thoughts on Arsenal being interested in Lewandowski for 400k a week?
If that happens, I'll stop watching football. There you go. A lot of people in the chat are praying it happens now, aren't they?
Twisted here says, Lee, admit you got it wrong about Arteta.
Got what wrong? He ain't won the title. He's won 1 trophy out of 10 we've entered, mate. So what are you talking about? He's got a 10% success rate. End of.
It's better than me on a Friday night, I tell you that. You know what I mean?
Wait till you got hair, Terry.
Wait. Nah. I respect your opinion, Terry, but in my opinion, we are setting naive Arsenal fans up to fail. You are setting them up to fail. So I'm setting them up to fail. An own goal in additional time proves nobody wrong, is what Per.
Big up, come on, big up the Norwegians in the chat. My God.
Do you know what's funny though? The toxic Arsenal fans hate me. Sorry, the positive and toxically positive Arsenal fans hate me. And the negative ones are starting to hate me because I'm really in the middle here. I see improvement, but I do agree, Per.
But you see improvement on style of play. Well, I don't. You see improvement on league position. Whoopee. We ain't winning the league, so it's irrelevant. Okay, yeah, big up to Rickon as well, because he said, what 10 competitions have we entered? Well, he's been here as manager for 2 full Premier League seasons. So there's 2. Yeah, he's had 3 FA Cup campaigns, so there's 5. Yeah, he's had 2 League Cup campaigns, so there's 7. Yeah, then he's had the 2 Europa Leagues, so there's 9. And if you want to count the season that he joined, well, we could have still won the league mathematically. We'll take that out. So let's say 1 in 9. He's been in 9 competitions and he's won 1. Ain't it good enough? Thomas Tuchel's been in 5 and he's won 3.
I look at it this way, and to Per's point and his other super
In
chat
fact,
here.
he's actually been in 7 if you want to include this season's league. And then you want to include last season when he took over. But we'll take that out because we took for Arteta. He's actually got a 50% success rate.
I look at it from the balance point of view. I have seen these improvements. I feel like they're there. But at the same time, I am calling out some of these positive Arsenal fans, again, are acting like they've reached the summit of Mount Everest. I feel like you're in a good position. You're a third of the way up the mountain. You've got great guides. The weather's looking good. You've got enough food and supplies and the equipment to get there. But you've still got to get there before you overly celebrate. And I got like Arsenal fans calling me out last week because I said that like Arsenal finishing above Man United this season, I'm not going to like it. And they'll deserve it if they do it. But it isn't going to be what I'm throwing my toys at my pram over. Because if we do put Ralph upstairs next year and we do get a quality manager in, I've got no doubt in my mind that we can then finish back in front of you again next year. So it's not like it's the season finale of Peaky Blinders and whatever happens, happens, and it's never going to be changed. Akash here says, if Simeone got top 4 with Arsenal, the tone would be different.
Simeone wouldn't finish top 4 with Arsenal after spending £250 million and being here for 2.5 years. Yeah, first season, you go, cool. Yeah, cool. Well done. Second season, go and win the title. Go and win it. Yeah. Simeone, and big up Akash because he's on my streams as well. Big up to you, my guy. Yeah. Listen, at the end of the day, it's about competing, right? And Simeone, has broken up the 2 biggest clubs in world football in the last 7-8 years. He's been there 10 years now, isn't he? Yeah, but he was there for 2 seasons. Bang, won the trophy. He actually won the double. He won the Copa del Rey at the Bernabeu and beaten Real Madrid at their own ground to win the Copa del Rey. And it was the first time they'd beaten Real Madrid in 20 attempts. And he won the league at Barcelona the same season. Yeah, that was in his second full season. So it can be done. And he was doing it on a shoestring budget because the money that club had then ain't the money they've got now. The income that they had then ain't the income they got now, because over here, 90% of the money or 95% went to the 2 biggest clubs. And then the other 5% of TV revenue was split between the other 18. So for him to go in there and do that, and people are saying, every time I mention Simeone, people go, oh, he's washed up. He won the league last season. How's he washed up? People are sitting there going, oh, but Brendan Rodgers is washed. Oh, really? He won the FA Cup last season. So if he's washed, then what's Arteta?
Robbie here says, have a drink, Lee. Don't get triggered. Hopefully this super chat helps you get one.
Well, Terry won't pay me, mate. He's tight.
I've actually heard you. In fairness, we only ever had a drink once. That was the Rants versus
yeah.
But also it's hard to get Lee a drink because he don't live here. Do you know what I mean? I'll send Lee a drink soon.
Okay, I'll get yourself over to Spain and we can do this live from the balcony, Terry. I can see beautiful sunshine. There's no breeze. Beautiful blue seas, blue skies. Get yourself out here, man. There's a spare room in there. Got 2 bedrooms. It's not a 1-bedroom bed sit, by the way. It is actually a 2-bed apartment.
As long as I don't see your pet snake, I'll be fine, mate. Do you know what I mean? It'll be fine.
Don't worry, Goliath's put away, brother. He's put away.
Can someone remind me what trophy Emery won? Lee talking like he won a trophy every season.
Yeah, no, can I just clarify on that? I did also say, if you rewind back about 10 minutes, I did actually say, and rightly so, he got sacked because he never won anything.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, I heard you say that. Okay, Lee, it's one thing to say Arteta's pedigree isn't to Arsenal standard, but you're nitpicking at every flaw just to suit your agenda. It's petulant.
Don't watch it then.
Thank you for the super.
Listen, the one thing you can say about me, is I've stuck to this since 3 weeks before he got the job. Yeah, I ain't changed my stance on this manager since he's been the manager and 3 weeks before it. All these people want to flippity flop every week. Good luck to you, mate. You're part of the problem. That ain't for me. Yeah, I'll stick to it. And when he proves me wrong, I'll eat humble pie. He ain't going to prove me wrong because he was never good enough in the first place. And he's proved me right every single week since.
I hear you on that. And Robbie, thank you very much for sending me the DM. I'll watch his comments later. I will say this about Pep's comments as well. He's obviously defending Jack Grealish and his terrible first season at Man City. And the thing is, I'd say about Jack Grealish, I would say his stats ain't been good, but his performances haven't been good either. Like the eye test, like he just hasn't influenced games like you would expect him to. Still better than Emery is what Eduardo says here.
Okay. Come back to me when he's got the trophy hall of Emery, mate, and we'll talk, yeah?
Comment here from Robbie says, what does Arteta need to do to earn your support?
win the league or at least compete for it. He's had the money. Maybe, and people go, but we can't compete. Well, how have Liverpool competed then? Because we've spent more than them. We have spent more money than Liverpool. We have spent more money than any team on the planet in the last 4 years since Wenger's gone, mate. How can't we compete?
The one thing I'd say about Arsene Wenger, about Arteta, and I said this on a stream the other day, going into next season, irrespective of where you finish this year, there has to start being more pressure now and less leeway given to him because he'll be going into his 3rd full season. Yeah, with the money that's been spent, and reportedly going to be another healthy summer as well. So that'll be an intriguing one to see.
Yeah, we'll go and sign Eddie and Nketiah up to a bumper new deal. Yes, the English R9.
Guardiola in City went from 3rd place to 1st.
There you go. In fact, Pep went in his 1st season, finished 4th, didn't he? 3rd or 4th, and then the following season, bang, title.
Absolutely. Someone is definitely washed up now. How do you bottle 2 Champions League finals to the same club? How do you beat Liverpool and shamelessly go out to Leipzig?
Who's that?
You're talking about Simeone. He's talking about. I was just trying to work out who was talking about. Simeone.
Oh, Simeone. If Simeone's washed up winning a league title last season, then Arteta might as well retire now, mate. Yeah, because he ain't ever going to go and have a look at. Just type in Diego Simeone honours, yeah, and come back to me when Arteta overtakes him, yeah?
This comment here says, how many titles out of those 10 trophies that you've been involved in does Lee think you would have won if TT was your manager instead of Arteta?
Well, Thomas Tuchel?
Yeah.
Well, we would have won the Europa League when we had Villarreal, and then you lot in the final. We would have won that. I'm adamant we would have won that. Yeah, we probably would have had another FA Cup as well. We would definitely still be in it this year, that's for sure, because we wouldn't have got knocked out to Nottingham Forest. No way. Yeah, we probably wouldn't have got knocked out to Southampton last year, but he definitely 100% would have beaten Villarreal.
I hear you on that. Interestingly, I did see that we put this tweet out earlier today. Have you seen this? This was an Arsenal.
I'm not on Twitter, so I don't see anything. It's lovely.
So man like Dom Hussein put his top 10 current active managers, and he listed it as number 1 being Klopp, then Pep, Tuchel, Flick, Conte, Enrique, Mancini, Simeone, Poch, Ten Hag. And Mo, an Arsenal fan, says top 3 is fine. He's not happy with that. He says, but look at 6 to 10. Arteta is better than all those guys. In 2 years' time, this will look funny. So he feels like...
Hang on. So he's better than Hansi Flick?
Yeah.
Can somebody tell me how many trophies that guy's won? Yeah, he's better than Conte. He's better than Conte. Somebody tell me what that guy's won. Luis Enrique, tell me what he's won. Mancini, bro, he ain't getting anywhere near that list. Ever. Yeah, the guy'd be lucky to win another trophy.
Oh my God. Sorry to say, the ghostwriter's back. The ghostwriter is not... How you doing, mate? How you doing? He writes poetry. He's a good guy. I follow him on Instagram. How you doing, ghostwriter? He says, one of extreme views should never be listened to. A balanced... gives the correct conclusion. That's why I'm the best YouTuber in the world. No, I'm joking.
One of extreme views should never be listened to.
Yes, Lee. That's you he's talking
about.
Why
is he listening?
Because I got balanced views. That's why he's listening.
Terry, hang on. Can I just make a point on that? Yeah, that is society in a nutshell. Big up to you for watching, my guy. I appreciate it. But that is society in a nutshell. Extreme views. No, you mean my opinion that you can't hack. Yeah, silence him, block him, cancel him.
I do agree with that.
No,
one thing I don't like is where people like one guy messaged me.
I was winning extreme. I was wanting to win the league extreme.
Someone said to me earlier, I shouldn't have you on the show because Lee's opinions are going to end up leading to my channel being shut down for defamation. Like, what? He's like, yeah, his opinions are just so wrong they can be like seen as lies. I was like, you're mental. Absolutely.
I love how many people are sowing their feelings about me. It's crazy. It's actually crazy. But they still come back every week and watch it, Terry. It's like, you're so toxic. But why'd you come back then? Because if I anger you so much, why watch it?
Yeah. Speaking of getting things wrong, like you're definitely wrong about Arteta this year. I'm just saying, putting it out there, right? Definitely wrong, Gunner.
Yeah, because we're only 18 points behind Man City, Terry. Do you know what I mean?
Speaking of getting wrong,
possible.
Speaking of getting things wrong, right? I have to admit, I was absolutely wrong, beyond a shadow of a doubt, about Ronaldo. As in, not his legacy, not where he stands. Not where he stands in terms of his career, I still have him as, for me, the greatest player of all time. However, everyone that was the greatest, like Muhammad Ali, I think Muhammad Ali was the greatest heavyweight of all time. But when he got past his best, he weren't beating anybody, right? Like everybody goes past their sell-by date. And the last 4 or 5 games I've seen with Ronaldo, it's not even half of it is his finishing touch. He's had 2 open goals he's missed. And when I've watched the replays back and I've tried to super slow him, he's so old now that he can't maneuver his body to position himself right to get the shots off, if that makes sense. And look, I felt the hype when he came in. I thought with the volume of chances we create, he would be able to score us forward. And interestingly, in the first few months under Ollie, we regressed so fast as a club that I felt sorry for Ronaldo. Since Ollie's been sacked, no club in the Premier League has created more chances, and only Liverpool, I think, have created 2 more big chances than us. Ronaldo has missed, I think it now stands at 11 chances in the last 8 games from point-blank range with his feet and head. He has missed sitter after sitter after sitter. He can't beat a man anymore. We're actually creating the chances that I thought in the summer we would, and a striker with his history would be putting away. If we had Harry Kane, we'd be playing even better football because of what type of player he is. But if Harry Kane or Lewandowski, or just a decent, even if it was someone like Callum Wilson was in the positions that I think Ronaldo's been in, and we got the ball to him in those positions, we would have easily had between 6 to 9 more points in the league right now, which keeps us in the hunt for this top 4. We'd still be in the FA Cup as well because we would have knocked out Middlesbrough. And I have to just say, for me, I hate saying it, but he is finished at the elite level of the game, Ronaldo, beyond a shadow of a doubt. And at 37, going into his 38th year, I'm not hating on him. I'm not hating on him because he is sensational. And I'm not going to speak disrespectfully about him. But in the game the other day, I just look at him and it's like watching, when you ever been to a club and you see that you only really notice this when you're not that age, but you're like 18, 19, 20, and you see like a 35-year-old in there acting like he's a youngster and they just stand out like a sore thumb. Ronaldo looks like that when he plays football in the Prem now. And it's mad to say it because of what he's achieved and what he's done. But, every dog has its day. And he's finished, mate. He needs to be put out to pasture.
Somebody's in your chat said he'd smash it in the MLS. I'm not sure he's even allowed to America, mate, but there we go. That's a different show. But yeah, mate, he's been finished for a long time, and it's now time that people woke up and smelled the coffee, because other than having a nice 6-pack and a good tan, what has he got? He's got nothing. His first touch ain't all that. Yeah, I love seeing him cry. It gives me joy. When he's on the football pitch, he's waving his arms about it. And he was crying at Bruno the other day. Pass me the ball. Why? Would you have passed then? No, you wouldn't, would you, mate? Because you would have been the glory hunter. And it's great just seeing him decline so quickly. It's an epic experience, Terry. Yeah, I always knew that he weren't going to do it. Yeah, your fans got so hyped about trebles and quadruples and this and that. He's literally just an underwear model now. That's it. Sitting in his pants on his Insta all the time. Who cares? Nobody wants to see that, mate. Well, that's it.
I quite like
There's
that.
There's more effort into getting them pictures out there.
No, listen,
in the box.
I hear it. I hear you. I thought he would. I just thought he'd score more goals than he has done, and the fact that he's been in the position to. And the one thing that we can't say, forget before, during Ollie's time. The one thing that's a fact during Ragnick's time is we've created the opportunities. Barring a couple of games, we've created the opportunities for him, and he hasn't been able to deliver. And I think what's ended up happening, in my view, is he hasn't necessarily gone on too long. He made a mistake coming back to the fastest and most ferocious and most powerful league in Europe. And that's what's at the speed of the game here is just we play it.
If he had left Madrid and come back, you probably would have seen a better Ronaldo.
Yeah, and he probably should have stayed. He
should have stayed at Madrid.
Well, yeah, he would still be scoring goals there. You saw the other day when Madrid went up against PSG, a younger, fitter side playing faster football. They struggled, and everyone was telling me how well they've been doing in Spain. But La Liga's on its arse right now. Like La Liga is legitimately on its arse right now.
Yeah, to be fair, it's not what it was, right? But do you think if Ronaldo had stayed at Madrid, they would have found a way to keep Messi at Barca?
Maybe.
I know it's all ifs, buts, and
Maybe.
maybes. But...
And I think the reason that Ronaldo, as I've said it all along, I felt like Ronaldo's been hanging on because he wants to. He doesn't. If Messi announced his retirement at the end of the season, I wouldn't be surprised within a week if Ronaldo retired because it's these records that he wants. And interestingly, he still might do well for us in the Champions League. Champions League football is a slower pace than the Prem. It just is.
He's scored 6 in 6, isn't he?
Yeah, so he might still do something for us in relation to that, but he just, in the league especially, it's painful. And the craziest bit right now is with Rashford playing the worst football of his career, Greenwood, of course, rightfully kicked out the squad, and Cavani on a Beano somewhere. Like, there aren't any options. I started playing Football Manager in the last few days, just for a little bit of downtime and take my mind away from football.
Just so you could use Cavani. Give him a run out.
That's mad. I downloaded the game, and it starts with all the players. It starts at the beginning of this season, but all the players that got loaned out in January are out on loan. But you start the season with all the same injuries. So Cavani's injured, Rashford's injured, right? But Martial and other players all been loaned out and mad. And I've got no squad, and I've got no transfer budget left. And I'm like, this is awful. And I'm actually playing this game, and I was angry.
Basically, you're a better manager than Arteta.
Well, I 2-2. I lost to Tottenham, and then I'll beat Newcastle and beat. I'm fourth in the league. I'm fourth in the league.
There you go. So you're a better manager than Arteta.
But yeah, look, Ronaldo for me. I just wanted to kind of address that. Like, I was absolutely wrong. And it's a strength to admit when you're wrong. And you know, Lee will eventually admit he's wrong.
I will do that if Arteta wins the title, which he won't. He might win one in Spanish Division 4, but he ain't winning one Premier League one.
Yeah, it's going to be intriguing to see what happens. Nevertheless, but yeah, Ronaldo for me, that's the worst bit. I want him dropped, but barring Bruno,
what players you put up front? If you like, I would if Cavani's fit, I'll play Cavani over him all day long. But the thing is, you've got a big issue in the summer because now you need 2 strikers.
Yeah, well, Ronaldo's going to stay. I think. I don't think anyone else is going to come in and pay Ronaldo's salary now to take him away. So I think
China.
Maybe. It depends on where he wants to go. I think with the world opening back up, it probably opens up a few more options, no doubt. Some super chats here. Big up Lee. It's Isco.
Come on, Isco, my guy.
Please just stop saying there is progression because there is none. Top 4 is not a trophy.
Facts.
Okay, Isco. I didn't say it was a trophy, but I hear you, bro. Jason says Pep is a good manager, but he has never managed a rubbish team to begin with, and he's always had money to spend. Do you think?
Can I answer that?
Yeah, go on, mate. Go on.
Right. Why would he? Because he proved himself at Barca B to get the Barca job in the first place, and then became the team became one of the best teams, if not the best team I've ever seen in my lifetime. Yeah. Why would he? That's like having a Lamborghini in your garage and saying, actually, no, I don't fancy that Lamborghini. What I'll do is I'll chop it in for a Skoda. Why would you do that? Yeah, why would an elite manager go and manage a non-elite team? He gets these jobs because he's an elite manager, and everywhere he goes, he wins. So yeah. I don't get it.
I don't get the Pep disrespect. I don't.
He's only 17 trophies away from Fergie, by the way. Yeah, and he's only 51.
I know he can definitely do it. Terry, don't diss Callum Wilson. I'm not dissing Callum Wilson. I'm simply stating that like Callum Wilson's pedigree compared to Ronnie at his peak, it's different. It's not even the same planet, but that was the point.
Are you going to clip that comment you made about Callum Wilson and Ronaldo and pull it out?
Probably not, because why would I do that to myself? I might do. I'll see what. I don't do the clips anymore. Tyler doesn't, but I'll see what he clips up. Terry, do you want $2? If you're giving it away, if you don't want $2, I'll have you $2 Don one. Ronaldo would actually be a great option from the bench, but his mentality would never accept that.
Because it's all about him. That's right.
Well, this is the thing. I agree with that to a degree. A 37-year-old Ronaldo for the last 20 minutes of the game, he can put all his energy into 20 minutes. Yeah. What he struggles with is putting all his energy into 90 minutes because he's 30-7.
And that's actually a very good comment, because if you brought him off the bench with 20 minutes to go, all of a sudden them defenders think, oh God, Ronaldo's coming on. Yeah, do you know what I mean? And it's a bit, even though he don't really do a great deal, yeah, you know he's gonna make that diagonal run across the box every time the ball's out in the wing. And you've got to be switched on. And after 70 minutes of a game, 75 of a game, and you've had to run around, then it's mentally draining, isn't it?
Absolutely. We all said CR7 was a commercial signing. He wasn't in our plans. Ollie wanted Haaland, but we became sentimental for him. We should have got a midfielder. Yeah, look, I think the midfielder would have helped. I think the problem that Man United had this year, it's broken into two categories for me, and they are, if it wouldn't have been Ronaldo and it was a top-class DM, the same pressures would have hit Ollie of, I now have to deliver. The squad and Ollie crumbled collectively with the necessity to deliver now that it was built. The club has said, we've built, rebuild, done, let's go. They all crumbled. That's part of it. Plus, I look at Man United now and I still keep seeing people talk about its overall quality we lack. And I get the point that we could do with better midfielders. I get the point that some people, better fullbacks. But the level of points we've dropped to the opponents we're playing, when we're missing gilt-edged chances, we're not seeing. I know we're fourth, but I kind of look at us as being fifth or sixth because those games in hand.
No, it's better to have points on the ball, Terry. That's what Arsenal fans were saying a few months ago.
I agree, but I'm just fairly pessimistic about my club at the moment.
But two of our games in hand, by the way, are Chelsea away and Tottenham away.
Mate, it's honestly the top four race. It could be the maddest thing is as well about just finish on my other point is I just feel like things crumbled. Ronaldo isn't the reason that Man United find the sole reason we are where we are this season. He's just part of it because his clubs run like crap. But this top four race is mad because I make Arsenal favourites now to make it. They should make it from here. Man United's next three games are City away, Tottenham at home, Liverpool away. Now on paper, you might give us 3 points. I think we can beat Spurs at home still. 3 points is what people give us. But I wouldn't be shocked if we walked away with more because football does that. Do you get what I mean? And I don't think we'll beat Liverpool at their ground. We could have a big say here in the title race as well, which is crazy. Equally, if we come through those, and this is the maddest thing with the mindset of things, most Arsenal fans are expectant, and rightfully so because what the favourites say, for us to drop at least 6 points in our next game. If we don't, though, the pressure on you guys winning those games in hand and suddenly increases massively. It's going to be very, very exciting to see what happens. It really, really is. Tune into the exam this summer. I'll be the host. I don't know what that means.
He's going to do a quiz on my channel.
Okay, yeah, cool. I'll definitely tune in, my guy. I'll definitely do that. Final point before the end. Roman Abramovich. Do you think he's going to lose Chelsea? Do you think they're going to? Do you think eventually if this doesn't get resolved? And I know that again, I've read so many different news stories about potential ceasefires, this and that. Do you feel like if this conflict continues, do you think Roman could lose Chelsea?
No, if I'm honest, he's not. Is because of the visa issue. He hasn't really been here anyway, has he? So he hasn't really had day-to-day running. Listen, he's still going to be in contact. Yeah, I don't think any of us are stupid enough to think he ain't. Yeah, and he's not had day-to-day contact, as in being in England, for 3-4 years now. Yeah, and the people that he's got at the football club, they've been there a long, long time, and he trusts, like Bruce Buck, Marina, people like that. Marina worked with him before he owned the club, so I don't think much changes. If he sells the club, there's at least a million. It's flipping mosquitoes, man. Mate, it's too early for him as well. They've been here for weeks. Like, go away. But I think if he sells the club, he's owed 1.5 billion quid or something. So he's going to sell the club with debt. But the one thing, I just did a show with Goonie and Northside and all of them guys, and Eunice. One thing I'll say, is they're saying like, look, if he said that he's come out before and said he'll never sell the club to anybody who's not going to look after the club how he's looked after it. Yeah, and he obviously clearly cares about the football club. Yeah, right. So I don't know, man. Listen, one day he's not going to be the owner of Chelsea. Is it going to be in the next couple of years? I don't think so.
Yeah, I'm the same. I don't think it's going to go that far as it stands right now. I think Chelsea fans have got to keep a close eye on it. I think some people that are like part of that trustee group that now on paper or now verbally own it or they're running it, I think some of them are a little nervous because they're like, yeah, but it's all about what happens in the conflict, and I'm not going to get to delve into that because my knowledge on it is sparse to say the least. But I think it depends on what happens and how quickly this is resolved and how long it goes on for. If it becomes a long, drawn out, horrible, it's already horrible, but like increasingly horrible situation, it goes into months and then into years of active conflict. Then I wouldn't be surprised. But you know what? If things get resolved, I know he's involved in peace talks. I know he's involved in, very, very credible sources have reported this. If all those things help and he is seen as someone that's helping solve the situation, I don't think so. Interestingly, is it Usmanov that's part of Everton? He's had all his stuff frozen. Like, he's had everything seized and taken away. I've read today. So they've done it to him. So yeah, very intriguing to see what's going to happen with it indeed. But it's a precarious situation. The one good thing I say to Chelsea fans is this, though. This is where FFP has helped to save clubs. Because for Chelsea to continue to spend big, they had to generate commercial incomes and commercial partnerships to generate the money, because Roman can only pump in about 20 million a year of his own money. So
he hasn't actually put any money into that football club for about 6 seasons now, I think.
Yeah, and it's small amounts of money. And this is the thing. This is what FFP was designed to do. I think at times it's flawed, but this is where it's a case of, it isn't like Chelsea are going to be sold to a new owner that doesn't want to pump his own money in and they're suddenly going to have no money to spend, because Chelsea now generate the vast majority of their own money through commercial means. So even if he is forced to go, I don't necessarily think it's that bad. Now, of course, there's that impending debt, £1.5 billion they owe him. But I think he said on many occasions, like, he's never going to ask for it back. He's got an insurance policy in place to pay it out. And as long as that can be paid out, that's how it's going to work. So even the new person buying the club isn't necessarily, idealistically, if he has to sell it, he'd like a new buyer to buy it, and in part of that purchase price, he's paying him off. But if he doesn't, there does seem to be other options as well. So it's FFP was designed to save Man United and Arsenal from Chelsea. And yeah, but listen, so you say that, Jack, and I get that standpoint. Chelsea and City felt like it was designed to save the other clubs. But imagine it never came in place, and Chelsea never built out their commercial arms, never built out ways of generating their own money, and they just took Romans, and then this happened, and you had no income. Your income suddenly went from what Roman was pumping in to, or say, like, not even income. Say if you could take all Roman's money, and if Man City were able to just take all of City owners' money, you could afford to pay players £1 million a week, £2 million a week to play for you in theory. But then if this happened, you'd never have the income to cover it, and you would crumble away as a football club. FFP, I know people are cynical. It was designed to keep. It was designed to help keep things competitive as well, though. You say save Arsenal and Man United. If Chelsea and City and PSG were able to spend what they wanted, you're almost effectively creating the same thing within the Super League that nobody wanted. So it is there to save clubs, but equally it's there to protect you against situations such as this. It's there to protect you in case your owner does walk away. And I also think as well, you look at the fact that he's always set up those loans. He's got the insurance policies for Chelsea to pay him back. He's never had any intention of damaging Chelsea. I think that's what's important as well. Roman and England might not be getting on, but Roman and Chelsea are sweet, I think. I really do.
And there's loads of people that have this idea that, oh, they're finished, they're done, they've had their 20 years of fun. Never in a million years. They're a massive global football team now. Yeah, if he sells that football club, somebody's coming in that's got equally as much money, if not more, and they'll carry on doing what they're doing. Yeah, they just might be from a different part of the world. Chelsea are not going to ever go back down to being some dead football team. Ain't happening. They're too big. I think they've got more fans globally than Arsenal. Yeah, they can bring more income than Arsenal. So on paper, as a business, yeah, that is more lucrative than Arsenal. So this idea that they're just going to fall away, nah, man, never happening.
Yeah, I agree. Listen, everyone that has tuned in to Straight Facts today, thank you. Make sure you hit the like and the share button. Go and check out the podcast versions as well. You may not have seen or listened to all of this. All our previous shows are available on there. The link's in the description, and I'm also posting the link. I'm actually spamming the link in the live comment section now as well. So go and check out the podcast. It's available on Spotify, iTunes, Google, and a few others, depending on what you use. Lee, pleasure as always, mate. Thanks, all my super chatters, everyone who's hit the like button as well, thank you. Until next time, take care.